Welcome to Liberty Today, the show that asks the question, just who is the leader of the free world? Sam Kephart's answer may surprise you. Also today, Bob Ellis discusses the meaning of normal in America, and the constitutional question for today asks, what is constitutional money? All this and more as Liberty Today goes on the air.
Well, most people don't know who really is the leader of the free world. And surprise, it isn't Barack Hussein Obama. Sam Kephart has an idea of who really controls the strings. Tell our viewers.
Well, you know, it's very interesting when Barack Obama put his White House together. There's a very powerful woman that he appointed, and she's got some...
And it's not Michelle.
No, and it's not Michelle Obama. In fact, this person, Michelle Obama, is actually afraid of if you go out and do the research. They stay clear of each other. But there's a woman by the name of Valerie Jarrett. Jarrett. Go Google Valerie Jarrett.
Tell our viewers who she is, what she does.
Well, basically, those of you that know a little bit about global history or Russian history, back about 100 years ago, a little more, with the sort of the last Russian emperor, there was a guy by the name of Rasputin who held sway over the imperial family. Well, Valerie Jarrett is the modern day equivalent of Rasputin in the Obama administration and their White House. And there is no doubt in my mind that Valerie Jarrett is the pivot point for the Benghazi situation, for the IRS situation, for the Associated Press debacle, for the Fox News debacle, and for the emerging EPA. They're now being accused of abusing the EPA regulations to shut down businesses and harm them.
Just for those who may not be aware, what is her official job description?
Her official job description is Chief of Domestic Policy. It's a catchphrase, but what you have to know is that number one, Chicago, and I had some clients in the security business years ago that were actual mafia chieftains. And there's a Jewish mafia, an Italian mafia, and a union mafia that have very strong links in Chicago. And this is the matrix that Obama and company come out of, and Rahm Emanuel and all these folks. These are very, very tough people who not only have toughness politically, but have very deep, strong claws into union politics, bribery, financial mismanagement. Oh, I could go on and on. The point is, this is the person who is effectively, de facto, running the White House. Nothing really happens policy or public-wise that Valerie Jarrett doesn't greenlight, including Michelle Obama.
Sam,
and what she does.
you are not just saying this offhandedly. You're saying this as someone, in case you don't know, Sam is a student of these things.
Right.
You probably spend more time studying these issues than most people spend sleeping.
Right. And the issue is when you watch on TV and you see Darrell Issa, who I've personally, privately had breakfast with, I mean, just Darrell and his accountant and myself, his accountant's a friend of mine, and some of these other people, they're totally missing the boat. They should have Valerie Jarrett in front of them. They should be subpoenaing her appointment records. They should be subpoenaing her emails.
Why don't they?
It's a good question. I can't answer that.
Maybe they're afraid of what they might discover.
Well, here's the setup, like in the Benghazi thing, and this is what disturbs me as a patriotic American, and what should disturb you as patriotic Americans that are watching this television program. The Republicans want to release enough information to politically embarrass the Obama administration and castrate, if you will, any Democrat agendas for the next congressional election. But they don't want to really tell us the real truth. And the real truth of what happened in Benghazi is it was a gun running operation. When we took out Gaddafi, there was a cache of weapons. And the CIA and the State Department made a public statement that we're going to take all these weapons that we find and we're going to destroy them. Well, they came up with a very clever idea. Let's take the bad ones and destroy those publicly. We'll have a bonfire and basically a crushing action where the bulldozers go back and forth and crush the weapons. Great. But the good ones were separated out, and they were sent through Turkey, Jordan, and Lebanon to the Syrian rebels with Christopher, the ambassador, that guy was the point man for it. So even though he was an ambassador inside the State Department, he was technically running, day-to-day running and managing because of his prior relationships. He was the point man for the gun running operation. And what happened was the KGB found out about this. Putin and the KGB. Putin was raised as a KGB from the time he was 6 years old. He went to a KGB school. He was deep selected. Once in, you're never out. Russia has had a 35 or 40 year long-standing relationship with the country of Syria. Syria last year, the year before, was Russia's largest arms purchaser, something like 16 or 18 billion. I mean, a lot of money. They want to keep Assad, who's the head of Syria, in power. They found out about the gun running operation and tried to poo-poo it. Well, they couldn't get through on that. So what Putin and the people in the KGB, now called the FSB, you can go Google that, FSB is the former KGB, that's what they call it now. They hired some SWAT guys out of Iran, made them look like Al-Qaeda operatives, but basically it was an assassination squad. And the reason the help wasn't sent in for that ambassador, during the live fire, the State Department, the NSA, the CIA, all these guys are watching this real time. They know exactly what's going on. Yes. They heard some chatter that Russia had a connection, and they went, oh, we don't want to pour any gasoline on this fire. We're going to have to cede the thing. And basically, the ambassador and those other guys were giving up.
Well, unfortunately, our time has given up. You know, the wonderful thing about having Sam Kephart on the show is you just hit the start button and then you sit back and relax. Sam, it's just it's a treat to have you on the program. And folks, if you haven't been really studying some of this stuff, this may be overwhelming. But stay tuned because we'll be back with more.